ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधा कान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So I welcome all of you to today's session. So Madhuri Kadambini session. Okay. We were discussing the conversation between the Premi Bhakta. So after getting the realization, after getting the darshan of the Lord, so how means Lord is giving his darshan, and also he is showing his compassion. That means his karunyam, actually. That is a compassion. That's the seventh sweetness of the Lord. This is audharyam. Sorry, this karunyam. Karunyam is the highest quality. That means bhakta also one can say, or karunyam, compassion also one can say. This is the highest quality of the Lord. Lord is having the innumerable qualities. Among those qualities, this is the highest quality. So after this, that means after manifesting this madhuryam, so devotee is able to relish all the qualities, and so Hare Krishna. So when the Lord is making the devotee to relish the sixth type of sweetness, that is simultaneously Lord gave the pleasure to that devotee. So then what happened? So he came out from that fainting, which happened after the fifth mādhuryam, that is relishing the sweet nectar from the Lord's lips. So then after that, he is able to relish all that means 5 types of senses of the devotee is experiencing the Lord's beauty. This is because of Lord's audharyam, Lord's kindness. And then after that, so Lord's that then the devotee is not able to capture all the beauty of the Lord. The Lord also was thinking why I was having this much beauty. My devotee was not able to relish completely. So he was thinking, like example, a chetak bird. So when it is waiting for first time the raindrops from beginning of monsoon from the clouds. So it was opening its mouth into that throat. If the entire water of all the clouds, if goes into that, so how that Chataka bird will feel? It will be feeling very difficult. The same way, so Lord devotee who is infinitely small is not able to cover all the beauty, all the sweetness of the Lord. So then Lord is showing his compassion on them. That means Bhakta Vatsalyam. So he is making the devotee to relish. Then after that, Lord is saying that, Lord will say that, so my dear devotee, you waited for me a long time and you left your home, family, your wife and everything. And you did a lot. So lot of tapasya. So like that, so he is praising his devotee, and I am your, so don't worry, relish so peacefully. So I am your servant. I am controlled by you. So how can I repay to you? So the austerities you did. Like Lord is glorified. After hearing this glorification, so once again, so devotee starts saying to him, my dear Lord, I am really very weak person, and I was beaten by the crocodiles of this material world. Those are all nothing but what? The sense pleasure. So I was in the ocean. But because of your causeless mercy, so you are so compassionate and you delivered me. And you appeared in the form of Guru. In the form of the Guru, you appeared and you guided me. And after that, so you gave your holy name, so which purified my heart. So that's why, and also I am a sinful person. I was having a lot of sins, and I did millions of the offenses. I am not at all forgivable. So that's why, my dear Lord, give me punishment. I don't ask any forgiveness for this. Please give the sufficient suffering to me. So like that, devotee also was taking the humble position, and he will be expressing his heart. So then after that, what will happen? So that is today's discussion. So then devotee start. So continue. Devotee was continuing further. So what devotee is continuing? You can see here. किंचारुणी भावमीति किंचारुणी भावमीति. What is that? Just give. 1 second. So here in English book 4C, the Prema 4C, you can see 4C. English book by the Narayan Maharaj. I can share this screen also. 1 second. Kincha, here from here. Kincha Runi Bhavamiti Sri Mukha Vanya Prabhu Varnena Vidambito Smiti Manye Aham Tatkim Karomi Panchach Va Saptashtava Lakshakotyopi Yedi Aparada Bhaveyu Tadapi Tam Samprati so Kshamayutum Dashtaitum Alambe so Pararthopi अधिकान्तान् अवधारयामि किंच ते अति प्रबलाः चिरन्ता भोक्तव्य फल वर्तन्तां नाम. So what he is saying, so that's finally I did so many offenses, my dear Lord, and I am not at all qualified to be forgiven. So that's why please give all the suffering to me. I don't go for any forgiveness by you. So like that he said, from next onwards we'll be studying. So from here 4D onwards, so we'll be continuing here. Samprati, so purvedyur eva niradena niradhena नील निराजेन नीलमणिना श्रीमद् अंगस्य चंद्रमसा श्री मुखस्य नवपल्लवेन श्री चरणस्य दयितुम उपमानेन मया दग्ध सर्षपारधेन कनक शिखरिणाम इव चण्णक कणेन चिंतामणिम इव फेरुणा केशरिणीम इव मशकेन गुरुत्वम इव सो समीकृवता दुर्बुद्धिना स्पष्टम अपराधम एव इति अधुनैवावगतम्. What now he is repenting now. So after that, so how the devotee is repenting? Yes, he said that he should give punishment to me. Then whatever the previously, before seeing the Lord directly, so in the previous stages of the bhakti, he might have explained the beauty of the Lord in many ways by using the different upamas, that means different examples. Now he is repenting for giving those examples to glorify the beauty of the Lord. So because Lord's beauty is millions and millions of times superior than those examples, those upamas, whatever used previously by him, so are nothing actually. So that's why he is repenting for that. I used such a cheap examples to describe the beauty of the Lord. What a mistake I did. So that is the meaning. So we are going to see now. Oh Prabhu, just a day ago, that means in the bhava stage, he is having the spurti. That means not directly darshan, but all the vrittis of the senses are feeling the, or otherwise realizing the particular sense objects. So sense objects which are in the Lord. That means in the bhava stage, what kind of experience devotee was having? He's having the spurti. So spurti means is a kind of realization only. So, but it is not directly seeing the Lord. But what is happening? So here in the bhava stage, the Lord face is becoming the object for the vritti, so vritti of the eyes. So that devotee is experiencing the beauty of the Lord. But total body and total shape, everything is visible. No, only the, so devotee is experiencing the beauty, the face, the beauty of the Lord's face. So like that, so bhava happened. But now that means in the prema stage, when that bhava densified, condensified, so then he is seeing the, so he is directly seeing now the Lord. So now, after directly seeing the Lord's beauty and Lord's all the sweetness qualities, so then he is repenting for his previously given examples. How he is repenting, you see. Oh Prabhu, just a day ago, that means before this darshan, this direct darshan, even before to this day also, one day ago also, I was so audacious as to compare your divine body to a fresh rain cloud. So he is feeling that means he himself as hesitant or otherwise audacious. So this thing he is feeling your divine body to a fresh rain cloud, a blue lotus and chapai. So he was comparing the Lord's body with the cloud. What is this cloud? What kind of beauty cloud is having? And now he is seeing that the beautiful body of the Lord. And your lotus face to the moon, and moon is having so many defects. And your face is really millions of times superior than the beauty of the moon. And your lotus feet to a freshly sprouted leaves. I have thus declared that burned mustard seeds house are equal to the golden mountain, Mount Sumeru. That means, what a foolish thing I did. If anyone compare, so two mustard seeds, broken mustard seeds with the Mount Meru, so how it is foolishness? Where is Mount Meru and where is the half mustard seed? And that to burnt mustard seed. So it is nothing. So such a foolish comparison I did. And that a chickpea is like a wish-filling jewel. Comparing chickpea with the wish-filling jewel. That jackal is equivalent to a lion. Comparing. So that means to describe the lion, someone used the jackal. Similarly, to describe the Garuda, if someone is a mosquito, how can you compare mosquito and Garuda? No, no. So such a thing, such a foolish thing I did. In this way, a foolish, such as I has brazenly committed an offense to you. So this is the offense he is feeling. I could understand my mistake only after receiving your direct darshan. So that's why the experience, the Premi Bhakta, after getting a direct darshan, how he explain how he feels. So that is not at all that cannot be explained by the words. So that's why even the Lord's beauty also, that point he's realizing. I thought at that time that I was praising you. Actually, now he's thinking that I was thinking at that time I was praising. Actually, I was not at all praising. When in fact I was simply proclaiming my own foolishness, considering my imagery to be a poetic brilliance. What a foolish thing I did. And I was thinking that I was glorifying so nicely. My foolishness is not having any limit. And I also thinking that I was poetic, I having such a ego. So what is this? When I beheld the beauty and splendor of your divine form for a moment with my own eyes, I realized that my comparison are like the teeth of a frenzied cow trying to defile the of your beauty, but without success. जैसे गाय चिल्लाती है ना, so वैसा चिल्लाया मैं. So like it's like a cow how it shouts. So that's a cow shouting. Whatever descriptions I did, whatever songs I used for describing your beauty, those are all like a shouting of a cow. And next, Evam, so I will go with the English. So when the devotee thus laments, Bhagavan becomes exceedingly pleased with him. So in accordance now Lord is how much pleased in accordance with the particular mood and cherished desire of the devotee, such as Prayasi Bhava, he reveals a vision of Sri Vrindavan. Now what happens? Okay, Lord is so pleased, and now he started going to give a darshan of all other inhabitants. For example, the devotee is a conjugal lover. Then Lord is giving darshan of others also to the devotee. So whom he will be showing? Lord will be showing him other different Vrajavasis. Like you see, he reveals a vision of Sri Vrindavan. Till now, this Premi Bhakta is seeing only the Lord. Now he started seeing the Vrindavan, the abode filled with his divine sporting pastimes, of which fulfilling trees, Maha Yogapita of Sri Radha Krishna, surrounded by the intimate eternal companions. That means the beautiful sitting place of the Radha Krishna is shown to him, Sayogapit, and also it is surrounded by the various eternal companions. Sri Krishna also grants the devotee a direct vision of Srimati Radhika, the daughter of Rishabhanu Maharaj, and the foremost among his beloveds, as well as darshan of her Sakhis such as Lalita and Vishaka and their maid servants. So Krishna is going to show all these other Lord's intimate gopis will be showing to this devotee. And also he also confers upon him darshan of his sakhas such as Subala, the cows he maintains, the river Sri Yamuna, Sri Govardhan, Bandhiravana, and Sri Nandishwara hill, and he grants him darshan of Sri Nanda, Yashoda, his brother, friends, relatives, servants, maid servants, all the residents of Raja, along with the excellence of their respective rasas. So he will be showing all his house, then he will be showing everything. So all the family members and everything. So similarly, so Lord is going to show and give the direct experience to this devotee of all those things. After submerging that devotee in the most enchanting waves of the blissful darshan of his eternal companions, Krishna, along with his entourage, vanishes from his vision. So Lord is showing all these things, and devotee is in full of ecstasy and full of in the waves of the bliss. Then all of a sudden, Lord, so withdraws his darshan to him. Finish. Then you see what will happen. Now this devotee is not able to see the Lord. Soon after, the devotee awakens from his blissful swan and opens his eyes so that he can again have darshan of Sri Bhagavan, his Prabhu. He was in the bliss and he closed eyes and he wants to see once again and open, but there is no Krishna there. So then, his Prabhu. Upon not seeing him, the devotee becomes exceedingly agitated, drenched by an incessant stream of tears. He wonders, was I dreaming? No, no, no. Had it been a dream, I would feel lethargic and heavy-eyed from sleep, but I feel nothing like that. Did someone create any illusion? Now, so this devotee started contemplating about that darshan. What? Is it simply a dream? A sleep? The sleep I just saw a dream like this? No, no. If I slept, then I should be lethargic. I'm so, but I was not like that. I'm not like that, and my eyes should be heavy, and that kind of sleepy feeling should be there. But I'm not at all having. So definitely, it is not dream. And then he's thinking, is it illusion? No, no, that is too impossible because how can an illusory experience bestow such ecstasy? Because he is now just remembering the ecstasy what he got when at the darshan. So then he's understanding that he's logically understanding that oh, it should not be a so definitely a illusion because illusory things cannot give such a ecstatic pleasure. So that's why it is not illusory. Then he's contemplating further. Maybe I experienced some bewildered state of consciousness. Maybe mati brasht ho gaya kya? So like that, some kind of bewildered state of my mind. No, no, that is also impossible because I don't feel dull or confused. No, no, I'm clearly seeing. I'm not at all confused. So I saw clearly his face. So definitely it is not a confusion. So was it the fulfillment of a deep yearning? No, no, that is also impossible because a longing can never approach even the boundary of something so indescribable. So then he is thinking that maybe I did manokalpana. That means with my mind, I created the form of the Lord and I saw that. Then he's understanding how mind can reach, how mind can so make the form of the Lord. It's not possible. And if even it is a mind-made form, then he will not get that kind of pleasure. So mind cannot approach so to such a transcendental form. Then was it possible that I received darshan of Bhagavan in a spurti? No. This also cannot be because I fully remember my previous spurtis and this ecstasy was completely different. In the bhava stage, he was having this spurti. That means so Lord became the object for the different senses of the vrittis of the different senses. So from that he got the that means that this devotee is having the experience of the spurtis, but he is clearly seeing the difference between that spurti and this direct darshan. So then he is thinking that no, it is not at all a spurti. Then, thus afflicted with a variety of doubts, the devotee falls to the ground. Now, so he is so fully hunted by all these doubts, and also he is rechecking them, and so he is just eliminating those doubts and feeling very sorry and very sorrow and fell down He falls down to the ground, becoming covered in the dust. He incessantly hopes to somehow or other receive such a darshan again. So then he's thinking to get this darshan again and desiring again, I should see again, my dear Lord, I want to see your so beauty, your darshan, I want so. But when he doesn't obtain it, he laments and rolls about on the entire body becomes cut and bruised. That means he is just walking and there are the stones are coming, the sharp and edges of the stones are very sharp and they are touching to his feet and is cutting out, but still he will not at all able to understand any pain. So because he is in the full of separation with the Lord and he wants to see that once again the darshan. So he then faints sometimes because bodily conditions, so he is getting the fainting. So upon regaining consciousness, sometimes he sits upright and sometimes he restlessly runs here and there. Sometimes like a madman, he sobs loudly, and sometimes like a sage, he remains content. Sometimes that means kochit rudati, kochit gayati, kochit nrityati, like that. Sometimes dancing and sometimes crying and sometimes running and sometimes falling and sometimes scrolling and sometimes rolling, like that. So he might be, so he will be doing the various ways of the various activities and loudly shouting. So sometimes he's sitting calm like a muni. Sometimes like a person who has strayed from proper conduct, he forgets to perform his regular duties, and sometimes like a hunted person, he rambles incoherently, rambles like that. So that means he will be doing that means he will leave all his regular duties and everything, and he will be so in this kind of state. Sometimes a devotee reveals his experience to another devotee, a friend, or sometime or someone who and consoles him and who inquires about his welfare. Someone came to him and asked, and he knows these people are very elevated, so then he started explaining his experience to them. So whoever hears him replies, "Oh, my friend, you have had a direct darshan of Bhagavan. Truly, your fortune is limitless." So he attentively hears such. Then after, so that means this devotee is saying that, "Oh, you got the darshan of the Lord." So then after hearing this, and you are so fortunate. So like that he will be hearing from them this reply, and he attentively hears such words of counsel and becomes calm and cheerful. Then he'll be laughing like that. So by hearing, so his fortune, so from his friend, but is again plunged into a state of remorse, then once again feeling morose. And alas, if I am truly fortunate, why do I not receive that darshan again? So really, my friends told to me, I am so fortunate. So if I'm really fortunate, then why don't I get this darshan once again? So it seems that one who is the crest jewel of Mahabhagavas has bestowed mercy upon me, enabling me to behold that acquisite form, for I am extremely fallen. So then he's thinking that whatever this previously I got darshan, that is because of the some pure Mahan. So that means causeless mercy of the pure devotee only I am able to see that Lord's form. And this is so really mercy of a sadhu. And I am a fallen soul and I cannot get any darshan, but because of the mercy of this great devotee only, I am able to get the darshan. So I have never served Bhagavan in any way, or possibly just a termite inadvertently carves the shape of a letter of the alphabet in some wood. So perhaps the devotional service of this rich person at some point happened to be free from duplicity, the fruit of which was darshan of Bhagavan. So then he is just also trying to understand. So what is the cause? So maybe my some kind of, that means I am a duplicate person And sometimes maybe I was serious and I did some the service. So because of that, because of the result of that service only, I got this darshan. But then perhaps it is simply the nature of Bhagavan's mercy, who is causeless to manifest the very form of his compassion, his darshan, by revealing it even to such a lowly person as I, an ocean of faults. Then he is understanding that no, 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 ultimately Lord is so merciful, and because of his mercy only I got, and I am such a fallen soul, and I committed the hundreds and millions of the offenses, and how Lord so gave darshan, that is because of his compassion only. He is Bhakta Vatsala, and he is so great, and he only so gave this darshan. I was not having any qualification. Alas, so by what indescribable fortunate did I obtain such a treasure? So then he is extremely feeling surprised and wonderful. So what kind of so lucky I am. So I got such a fortune and I got the darshan of the Lord. And by what great offense has it slipped from my grasp? But okay, I was so fortunate, but now I'm not able to get that darshan. That means I have committed so many offenses, great offenses I committed. So that's why now, so Lord now disappeared. So why can I not again receive his darshan? I am but a fool, unable to comprehend this. So, and he's trying and thinking what kind of offense I did. So I don't know. So like that, he is once again and again and again. So comprehending this or contemplating on this to find the why Lord disappeared from his eyes, in front of his eyes. So what kind of calamity is this? My intelligence has become paralyzed. That means he keep on thinking, and so his intelligence is becoming the unfunctional, paralyzed. In such a condition, where shall I go? What shall I do? What is the solution? Whom shall I ask? The three worlds appear to be utterly vacant. For him, everything looks zero, sunyam. Nothing here is mine, and I am without shelter. The whole universe wants to devour me like a huge forest fire. So maybe I should isolate myself from everyone in the world and contemplate this for a while. So then he is thinking that he is really so suffocation feeling, and everything is being burned. That means whole universe is going to so devour him. So like that, it's like a forest fire. He's feeling whole the society, and he wants to save himself from the so entire society. And then he's thinking that he should isolate himself. Thinking like this, the devotee who had attained direct audience of Bhagavan goes to the solitary place, direct audience of Bhagavan, so goes to the solitary place and sits there restlessly crying out. So then finally thinking that better to leave this place, this so crowd, and he goes to the isolate place and started crying out. Oh Bhagavan, whose face is beautiful like a lotus. Oh, you who are a stream of this sweet nectar, by the charming beauty and fragrance of your divine form, this forest of Vrindavan, which encompasses the splendor of all forests, is becoming graceful and fragrant. The sweet scent of the garland of forest flowers on your neck, O Vanamali, so agitates the bumblebees as they hover around it. Now he is seeing that he's sitting in that such a forest, and he's thinking that everything is Vrindavan, and all these aspects and all these things in connection with the so Lord's devotion. So, and they're all superior in their devotion than him. So like that he'll be feeling, alas, when will I again attain your darshan? If but for a fraction of a second, once only did I have the fortune to relish the nectar of your sweetness. He just now so asking darshan for a moment, a second. Will this fortunate person be able to obtain the sweetness once more? So he is just thinking about his fortune. So to get the darshan once again. While lamenting in this way, the devotee rolls on the ground, breathing heavily. He falls unconscious and becomes totally maddened. Upon beholding Bhagavan everywhere, he is again filled with the divine rapture and he embraces him and laughs. Sometimes he dances and sometimes he sings. And again, upon not seeing the Bhagavan, he laments and begins to weep. So, like this, now what will happen? So, he will be lamenting like this, and sometimes Lord give darshan, and sometimes in front of his eyes, Lord is clearly visible to him, and sometimes Lord disappear, and then once again he started crying. When Lord is visible, then he keep on laughing and dancing and embracing him. So like this he'll be doing, and when Lord is disappearing, and started crying. So he laments and begins to weep, continuously absorbed in such extraordinary activities. The devotee thus passes the duration of his life unaware of his bodily existence. Then he will keep on spending his life, and he's not at all caring about his body. He doesn't know how body is maintained, and he doesn't follow any of the so normal duties also. For he never attends for any activities to for this physical body. So then what? So in due course, the devotee abandons his body, which dissolves into 5 elements without any awareness of doing so. His only experience is the object of my perpetual entreaty, the ocean of compassion. Sri Bhagavan has directly manifested himself before me, just like before, and to engage me in eternal service to him, he is now escorting me to his own abode. The devotee is thus crowned with complete success. So then what will happen? So finally, so he is not at all caring about this body, and he is going on like that. And then finally, so he abandons his body. That means somehow he then devotee also doesn't know when this body is dissolved. So in due course, the devotee abandons his body, which dissolves into 5 elements without any awareness of doing so. So his only experience is, so Lord is coming, and so he took away. He took me to his eternal pastime. So like that, to engage me in his pastime, so he took me. So this much only he knows. So the ocean of compassion, Sri Bhagavan has directly manifested himself before me, just like before, and engaged me in his eternal service to him. He is now escorting me to his abode. The devotee is thus crowned. This is the complete success. That means Bhagavad Prapti, going back to the Godhead. Yes, Mataji.
Prabhuji, this stage,
Hmm.
like until and unless one comes to this stage, he does not go back to the spiritual world. Is that the understanding?
If one doesn't in this body doesn't develop this kind of symptoms, but so he is fully conscious, he is fully Krishna conscious, and he was not having any offenses, and he is able to remember the Krishna. So then in that case, Antya Narayana Smriti, then he will be placed, that devotee will be placed in another situation where he will not at all getting any conditional life, but he will be learning the, so in the many Krishna's leelas are keep on happening. In those leelas, he will be involved and he will be learning the various kinds of the devotional activities, and from there also he'll be going back. So that
within
can
this,
also,
within the material world.
yeah, within the material he got trained, and so he'll be going back. So still we should consider he also got the Bhagavad Prapti. Sometimes, so they are showing these symptoms here also. So, and also sometimes they may hide, and with the consciously, like the Rupa Goswami, we don't hear that this kind of rolling and crying and weeping so extremely. But if you see the Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he went to the samadhi and he left his body. So like that, various devotees in the various ways. So they, like Narottam Das Thakur, he made into the water. So Haridas Thakur, we know how Lord, so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was so getting his darshan and seeing and keeping his leg on his head, and he's crying, and like that he left his body. So like that, various acharyas and various devotees, they leave body in a different symptoms. different ways. And sometimes they hide this, sometimes they exhibit. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu exhibited for the setting example, and other devotees, so they didn't exhibit. Also, we have seen Bhakti Siddhanta and others case, Srila Prabhupada's case also.
Yeah.
It's many ways. But these are the in general so in the physical body, someone, so prema stage is so nayanam galadasudaya vadanam gatgadadaya uddhaya gira pulakaya ristumu padato. So these are symptoms they develop actually.
So until one comes to prema stage, then
they will never go back. Until unless that's all the offenses are purified, so they cannot remember the Krishna at the time of their death. And if they don't have sufficient loving relationship with the Lord, then they will be given the opportunity to have that kind of training actually. So his love will be intensified. So with the proper devotee association. So, or otherwise, if they develop, then they will go back to Godhead also. But otherwise, if they have offenses, then they will never go back.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yes. So that's why it's not so easy actually. Most of the action. I don't know the reference. So sometimes I heard actually from many devotees, even some senior devotees also. So maximum our devotees go to the Swarga and they'll come back. Because of the way the practice we do, and there are so many offenses and a lot of instability in the sadhana, and so the way of the attachment to the material pleasure and so on. So maximum they'll go to some higher planets and they'll come back because of the piety. So some kind of piety and some kind of devotion. They'll come back and continue their devotion. So I heard like that. Yeah. It's really a wonderful success. If one get this kind of success, will unparalleled. So now we are going to see anyway in some symptoms which cannot be manifested in this earth body of material body. So those different stages of the prema are explained in this Piyush Varshini. So those you can just go through. Those are all not there in the Moola. So now we are finally seeing the final part. This is. So this is. Achha, 5A is missing. Where is 5A? This is 5A. Now, just Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti, so that means Prema is over. Just Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is briefing. Initially, that Aham Mamata, these are the two different vrittis. Vrittis means the functions of the heart. That means mind and I. These are the different two thoughts actually, are the functions of the heart, we can say. These are all initially material. Then how those transformed gradually into spiritual, and finally one is identifying himself with the body given by the Lord. So that means now we are seeing the material body, we are having the material body and considering oneness with this material body. That means I means you see your face on the mirror and think that I am beautiful. That means actually my face is beautiful, you don't say. That means we are claiming this body as self. So the same way in the spiritual life, when when spiritual is success, that means when spiritual body is developed. So at that time we will be claiming that spiritual body as I. It's not that my spiritual body, we don't say. Like how in the material case, being illusioned by this Maya, so we understand, we always use that this is I am beautiful, I am fat, I am black, I am white, I am red, I am thick, I am thin, like that. So my body is thick, my body is red, my body is thin. We don't say like that. So same way, so spiritual case also will happen. because of the spiritual ego, and because of the Sarupa Shakti of the Lord. So one will be having that kind of oneness with the spiritual body. That is being explained. So that's why sometimes people think that the soul particle itself is having the form and it is having the shape. So that's not like that. That soul is having the body. Like how we have the material body now in the successful state, that means when we got the Bhagavad Prapti, then we'll be having the spiritual body. And still we consider it as self only. So that is being explained here. So from the first before Shraddha, so we were not at all having the our I-ness, that means one ahamta, that means I and mine. So these two are completely material because we are identifying ourselves with the false ego. So that's why, because of the false ego, we are identifying ourselves with the body. So that's why these two functions, that means of the ahankara, that means mine and I, those two are material. Identifying self with the body, I mean, oneself with the body is material body is. So then that identification, that I, so I mean, and that functions of the heart, I and mind are material. So now you see first Shraddha develops, followed by the Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Nivritti, Nishta, Ruchi, Asakti, Bhava, and finally Prema. This is the accurate sequence of the advent of Prema as delineated in the scriptures. Because, yes, these are the stages we have seen in the case of first canto. Sota Goswami, when he was explaining at that time, also we have seen in the Bhagavatam. Actually, these stages are given by whom? Given by the Srimad Bhagavatam itself. Of course, we study this given by the Rupa Goswami, but these are all clearly explained by the Sota Goswami in the first canto, second chapter, and also by the Narada Muni in the fifth chapter of the same canto. So that's why these stages are given by the scriptures. After this, among the leaves on the uppermost branches of the wish-fulfilling vine of bhakti are the fruits of sneha, mana, pranaya, and raga, anuraga, and mahabhava. These are the different fruits, and so these are the different stages. We also described that bhakti lata, how it is decorated, and how it is having the different leaves and different birds and different flowers and different fruits. And it is also having the prema as a fruit, and in the prema also varieties of the fruits are there. So what the sneha, that means in the sneha, that means variety means variety levels. So variegated levels in the fruit also. We have that is sneha, mana, pranaya, raga, anuraga. It's already explained. Let's go Pijan Prabhu.
Prabhuji, please correct me. Somewhere I heard that Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur has specified 14 stages.
Yeah.
But
yes,
then
Prabhu,
here,
that is, it's, we have seen the 9 stages. Although Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Nivritti, Nishta, Ruchi, Asakti, Bhava, Prema. 9 stages we see here. So, but you can divide it, Prabhu. So, like Ado, Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha means you can take as Guru Padashraya, Diksha you can take, and then so Sadhu Sangha. That means you can subdivide this into many. So then it will become 14. Like you can Sadhu Sangha also can be divided into many. Ado, Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha. So after doing the after Shraddha, one will be approaching to the Guru and Guru Padashraya. This is the one stage explained in the Bhagavatam. So then you can add one more. After that, Diksha is one more. Then after that, so Sadhu Sangha he is doing. So similar same kind of devotees. So like this, these stages are further so subdivided. Then you can see there 14. But otherwise, you can consider this as 9 also.
But here, Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur is very clearly specifying there is 9 only. Okay, we can divide it, but it is not being said by Acharya.
No, Prabhu.
Acharya says it's only 9 here.
here he is saying 9, but in the comment you see, so there Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur himself is writing and he will be showing this 9 as 40.
I see. Okay. So
That means we can, like you see, 23 elements also can be divided into 17 and 8, also 9, also 3. So it depends upon us. India can be say as one country. Also, you can divide it and say that there are 30 states. You can say even more, divide it and say that. So maybe 1,000 villages, districts. It depends upon our presentation actually.
So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur only gave that purport in the Bhagavatam.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
So, each success stage, that means there are sneha, mana, pranaya, raga, anuraga, mahabhava, all these are all the different levels of prema. So all those you can say prema is a fruit and it is having this kind of stages. So like this Bhakti Lata Creeper was explained already. The body of the sadhaka is unable to tolerate excessive heat, coolness, or the colliding of two. So which comes from the savoring these treasures. It is therefore not possible for them to appear in the sadhaka's body, and so they have not been described in detail here. This pranaya bhava and so all cannot be discussed here, because in the material world, in the material body, so of any sadhaka we don't see this kind of. So because that extremeness of the coolness and extremeness of the heat means when he is feeling so much separation, the heat is produced, and because of that heat, his body will be burnt out actually. So under those stages of the prema are not manifesting in material body. So that's why when one is sadhaka is in the material body, at that time those are manifested. So because that will cause the sudden death. That means suddenly the body they may leave. So if they manifest, so that's why those will not be, Lord will not also allow to manifest those, but in the Siddha Deha they can manifest this. So that's why we are not going to discuss here, because those we don't see in the sadhaka when he was in the, so when this bhakta when he is in the material body. It's clear. Simple point. Sneha, mana, pranaya, raga, anuraga, and mahabhava will not be manifesting in the material body.
Prabhuji,
Because those will be creating the extremeness. Yeah.
But our understanding is the body is spiritualized, right, Prabhuji, as we perform bhakti.
Yeah.
And if someone comes to the stage of prema, can you still say that the body is material and therefore not able to?
It's not material, it's a spiritual only. But still that spiritual body is based in the what? In the material body. So that's why it get affected actually. So that's why ultimately he's getting the, when his heart is soft, tears are coming from this physical body. So that's why that so that thing we cannot see. That means he along with this Siddhadeha he is in this material body. This material body cannot behold those extremities of the feelings.
It is not that the material body becomes transformed into spiritual body. It's not like that.
It's transformed. Material body is transformed, but still Bhakti Maharani is not making it to be visible. So, but still it is in the material body only. Material body only is visible.
Okay.
They are not visible to us. So they are in this material body along with the spiritual body, but it is based in the what? This material body.
Okay.
It is therefore not possible for them to appear in the sadhaka's body, and so they haven't been described in detail here. Those are being explained in the Ujjwal, 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 So this is the next one, final one. Furthermore, although there is an abundance of scriptural evidence pertaining to the characteristics and the visible symptoms of ruchi, asakti, bhava, and prema, such evidences has not been cited herein. For if one depends on such a scriptural truths for these stages, so one meets with some roughness on the path of realization. Nonetheless, one seeking citation from scriptures can deliberate on these verses. So what here Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is saying, so there are these so many evidences. There are these so many evidences are given in the different places in the scriptures, like in the Srimad Bhagavatam and other Puranas, like Brahma Purana and so on, and Padma Purana and so on. There are the different references are possible, but so why Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur didn't mention this? Because it will become too technical book, like Bhakti Sandarbha, and it will such a how everything. So asking logic and asking the particular reference. If you see in the Mādhurya Kādambinī, so many concepts are discussed and we don't see any Bhagavatam citation, Bhagavatam reference. But if you see in the Bhakti Sandarbha, when Srila Jiva Goswami quotes even a single point, even he discuss anything, so he is always referring the some Purana statement. So because he is establishing the Siddhanta, and he did the prime work, that is the main important. So whatever the bhakti aspect is discussed in that scripture, in that book, is fully supported by the scriptural evidence. But here in this Mādhurya Kādambinī, it is not done like that, because it will bring this some kind of roughness. That means always intelligence functions instead of emotions. So that's why Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, because already elder acharyas they did establishing of all these facts. So that's why he is not taking that kind of risk and pain again. So just he made this book so relatable and bring the sweetness in the heart of the devotee, whoever so go through this book. Yes or no? So that's why he was not at all mentioning. Nonetheless, on seeking citation from the scriptures can deliberate. So on the verses, Srimad Bhagavatam provides the following evidences for ruchi. Tasmin tada labdhe rucher mahamate parasakti guneshu satam. So and so on. So these are all the different evidences for the different stages given here. Evidences of visible symptoms that illustrate presence of ruchi. So taye pibhanti avishruto rupa. So these are the different evidences he gave. Evidence pertaining the spurti of Bhagavan. Ahu taiva sangraham. You can see this. So then after that, these confirmation from scriptures can be researched and carefully deliberated upon. If one wants, they can go and see those references. I don't know, this Hindi book is not. Now next this is the thing. Now how this ahamta and mama, these two vrittis, those are initially material. How that means how those two functions of the heart became spiritual, that is explained here. Ataridam tattvam, that means we are seeing the tattvam, that means the philosophical understanding behind these stages is explained here. What is that? Ahankarasya devritti ahamta mamata chaiti. That means false ego has two functions. Ahamta, that means I, a sense of I, and mamata, a sense of mind. Okay. Tayoho jnanena layo mokshaha deha gehadi So Vishayatve Bandha. When that means this I, the sense of I and the sense of mind, when applied to the physical body, one's house and so on, the sense of I and mind are the cause of continued bondage. That means I am my body, I am this, I am that, I am Indian, I am American, I am this, I am that, I am this, my house, it's my wife, my family. Then this sense of I and then sense of my are completely material there. And they will be cause for the bondage. But by means of knowledge of one's relationship with the Bhagavan, Ahamta and Mamata toward anything to this world is destroyed. This is stage of liberation. So then by the knowledge, if you understand that I am not this body and and this is not my family and my wife. So if one understand by the knowledge, so then what will happen? This Ahamta and Mamata, a sense of I and sense of mind, both are destroyed. And this kind of stage is known as liberation. So next, but when in the association of the devotees, aham prabhoho janaha sevako asmi. That means when this person, this conditioned person, that means who is understanding himself as body and who is understanding this house is his, and then that kind of person, when he come into contact with the devotees, just we are seeing the philosophy actually. Huh? So when he come in contact with the devotees, then he'll be hearing about the Lord. Then after that, what this new devotee will think, I belong to Bhagavan and I am his servant. And Sri Bhagavan, who is ever accompanied by his own companions, is great ocean of Rupa Mādhurya and Guna Mādhurya. He is the master, the of my service. So prema manifests as Ahamta in relation to his one's own transcendental form as a companion of Bhagavan, and as Mamata in relation to Bhagavan's transcendental form and responsibility. So now when he hear from the Lord, from the devotees about the form of the Lord and about the glories of the Lord, so then that materialistic person will be understanding himself as I am Vaishnava. So I am belonging to the Bhagavan. That means aham prabhoho janaha sevako asmi. So that means now he is not realizing, but he is just understanding after hearing from the sadhus that I am the servant of the Lord. And Lord is mine, not the wife and house and so and so are mine. So this kind of, I, that means sense of I and sense of mine. So now he got. So this is nothing but what? The spiritualized ahamta and mamata. This is. It's a little, some portion. That means it's the sense of spirituality came into the ahamta and mamata. That's why here iti parshada rupa vigraha bhagavat vigrahadi vishayatve prema sahi bandha mokshabhyam vilakshana eva purushartha chudamanir iti uchyate. So that's why this kind of ahamta and mamata are having the some. It is explained in the next sloka. So now the sequence in which I and mind disengage from the worldliness and engage in the transcendental is described as long as material sense of I and mind remains extremely thick. So once actually in the previous paragraph, what he is explaining. So in the previous paragraph, this paragraph 5D, so here it is explained that once develop the prema to the Lord, then he will be liberated. So that is the prema is the chudamani of the purushartha. So what is that? Initially he is a materialistic person. A sense of I and mind is related to the material objects. So then he is in the full of bondage. That kind of sense of I and sense of mind will be cause for the bondage. Now, if we understand, if you meet the sadhus and if you understand so he is the servant of the Lord and the Lord he is belong to the Lord and Lord is belong to him. So like that, when he understand and then he develops the prema to the Lord, then this prema is the highest purushartha chudamani. That means he is a crest jewel among the purusharthas. So all that means dharma, artha, kama, moksha, these are all inferior to the prema. Prema is the fifth purushartha. Or otherwise bhakti or prema is the fifth purushartha. Is a crest jewel among the goals of the life, goals of human beings. So that is the point he explained. Now we are going to see further. I belong to Bhagavan and okay, sorry. Next. Now the sequence in which I and mine disengage from worldliness and engage in transcendental is described. Now we are going to see this I and mine, these two, the sense of I and the sense of mine. Initially, they are towards the material objects, they are completely material. Now they are transcendentalized. That means they will become transcendental and transcendental I and transcendental mind. That means in future, that means how this Premi Bhakta developed ultimately. So he is also having the feeling of I, but whom he is identifying himself with is a spiritual body. So how it happened, that is being explained here. So philosophically, from worldliness and engage in transcendental, transcendence is described. As long as material sense of I and mine remains extremely thick, one's fate will be to remain in external in the material existence. So if one continues, that means sense of I and mine towards the material body and material objects, then he will be continued to be in this material world. But if any chance a speck of Shraddha appears in a person in such a condition and he thinks I shall become a Vaishnava and Prabhu Sri Bhagavan will be the object of my service, then he is sent, Gandha of spiritual disposition will manifest. This is the point I was saying previously. So now, because of the association of the devotees, such a worldly person, because of the association of the devotees, and if he understand, I should be the philosophy, and if he thinks I should become Vaishnava and I should serve the Krishna and Krishna is mine. So when he understand this, and then what will happen? So I am belonging to the Lord, and I am not body, I am spiritual soul. This understanding. Because of this understanding, the sense of and I and mine is getting the scent of spirituality. Some spiritual gandha, that means adhyatmika gandha. Gandha is appearing, little. Gandha matri. So thereafter, this scent of spiritual disposition will become stronger through sadhu sangha. So that means I should become Vaishnava and I should serve the Lord. This is nothing but the Shraddha actually. And in the Shraddha stage, Ahanta and Mamata both are getting the scent of spirituality. They are not becoming fully spiritualized, but they are getting the scent of spirituality. But when he is in the next step, what he is doing after Shraddha Sadhu Sangha. So when he getting the association of the devotees, then that scent will become more stronger. Next, he will be doing the bhajana kriya. That means after Sadhu Sangha, what bhajana kriya, anishtita bhajana kriya. In the anishtita bhajana kriya, what will happen? This sense of I and mine is engaged in spiritual reality only partially, and its absorption in materially is complete. So when he is doing bhajan, so at that time what will happen? This sense of I and mine are becoming partially spiritual, because now he is fully hearing and he is chanting and he is doing service to the Lord and he is engaging himself in the practical service. That means hearing, chanting and so on. So So at that time, so this I and mine, the sense of I and mine are so getting that means partially spiritual, but still they are having the material portion. This absorption material is complete. With the awakening of Nishtha, but when that Anishtita Bhajana Kriya becomes the Nishtita Bhajana Kriya, then in the stage what will happen? The sense of I and mine in relation to the spiritual reality is extensive. That means, so then in the Nishtha, then this devotee is fully, that means absorbed in the bhajan and steady in the bhajan, not fully absorbed, is fully steady in the bhajan. So in the stage, this sense of I and mine becoming more spiritualized. That means bahudesha. That means extensively. That means many portion. So is becoming extensively bahudesha vyapini. That means is becoming spiritualized. Is spiritualized. While absorption material absorption is less actually. Then relating himself is mind and I, body. This will reduced. This will be reduced. When the ruchi awakens, one's sense of I and mine in relation to the spiritual reality is almost complete. That means now I and mine, this sense of I and mine are becoming more spiritual, almost spiritual. Whereas that means, what is the meaning of spiritual? That means he is always in the spiritual activities. Because ruchi is awakened, every time he is getting taste in the chanting, and so that's why aham and mamata is fully absorbed in almost they are in the spiritual state only. And very rarely it is becoming material. That means I and mine. That means material portion is very less. That means, so very rarely he comes to the material platform. In relation to the spiritual reality is almost complete praiki, whereas it is only partial ekadesha in relation to worldly matters. When asakti awakens, one's sense of I and mine in relation to spiritual reality is complete in the asakti stage. So that means he is always identifying himself as Vaishnava, servant of the Lord, and Lord is belonging to him. So, and only the mere scent of it remains in relation to the worldly. That means then at that time, so bhautika gandha is less. Now, initially spiritual gandha is there. Now in the asakti, bhautik gandha and everything is spiritual. A reverse happened actually. So at the stage of bhava, the sense of I and mine in relation to the spiritual reality is absolute atyantiki. That means he will never go to the material platform until unless some Vaishnava aparadha happened by him knowingly or unknowingly. So then, so he may go. Otherwise, so it is so fully spiritualized. So completely spiritualized. And the apparent continuation of the sense in relation to worldliness exists only as a semblance abhasa. In the bhava stage, so material gandha is abhasa, only traces will be there. Like if you keep some on the soap, so some iron, so key if you keep, so there is some, so mark will be there. But there is by seeing that mark, can you say the key is there? No, only the traces are there. So similarly, he will not be having any material, so materialness in his I and mine. But not the so any kind of materialness, worldliness. Finally, at this stage of prema, the topmost goal, one's sense of I and mind in relation to the spiritual reality is supremely absolute, without the slightest trace of materiality. Material means supremely means in the prema only. Then so in the prema, finally is getting that means that you see the material spiritual body is in the seed form in the bhava stage. So in the prema, it is fully manifesting. It's fully manifesting. Then he is always identifying himself with that spiritual body. And that's why I and mine is completely spiritual, absolutely spiritual. The sense of I and mine are absolutely spiritual, and there is no material identification, no traces of material identification. Next, similarly, at the stage of bhajana kriya, meditation on Bhagavan is momentary and tainted by worldly topics. At the stage of nishtha, the semblance of worldly concerns remains in one's meditation. When the ruchi awakens, meditation is free from any worldly topics and continues for prolonged periods. When asakti develops, meditation becomes extremely deep. At the stage of bhava, vision of Lord is experienced as soon as one begins to meditate. At the stage of prema, the devotee has an even more extraordinary vision of Bhagavan than before. And finally, he receives direct darshan of Bhagavan. So this is explaining about, so from once again, how the meditation on Bhagavan is. That means just it is elaborately. That means in the bhajana kriya, anishtita bhajana kriya, one can be disturbed by tainted by the worldly topics. So then those in the semblance of the worldly concerns, and in the ruchi awakens, and worldly topics continues for the prolonged periods. These things. And finally, in the prema stage, so he's getting the direct darshan, Bhagavad Prapti. The author prayers to the eternal auspicious. I think English book is having more. Actually. Hindi is not having. So what Srila Vishwanath Thakur is saying. So may this mādhurya kādambinī, which has drawn its torrents of rasa from the nectarian ocean of charming sweetness, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, satisfy the whole creation. So that is the just prayers by the author. That means he is expecting. So this book may bring the auspiciousness and do the some benefit for all the audience, and may satisfy all the creation. Okay. This ends. You can start reading this book. I gave just some glimpse. Especially in the last stages, so prema stage. But anyway, it is very high spiritual topic. It's not a sadhaka. We don't have any experience also, and whatever is there, that is just as information we came through this. Let us hope. I also hope from all the devotees. So maybe these discussions help in their increasing in their shraddha and becoming as much as possible. So pray to the Lord also to become stable in their sadhana. So yes, it's a lifelong journey, and this is a manual book, guide book. You can always, it's a scale. You can open this book and you can measure at any time whatever the progress so you had. So by just going back and refreshing all these all the information given by this Srila Vishwanath Thakur here. So through that we can understand our level of devotion and understand how much seriously we should do our further practice. So maybe in that way it can help all of you. So thank you very much for a kind and patient hearing. So Hare Krishna. So we'll be meeting in the maybe all our regular students only the next tomorrow's class in the Bhakti. Hare Krishna. वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यश्च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव भक्तवृंद की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव भक्तवृंद की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे। हरि हरि बोल।
इस देश वेणुगोपाल प्रभु जी की जय, श्री प्रभुपाद की जय।